Good evening and welcome to Season 2, Episode 14 of the Pat Homer Podcast. Last week we only had two of us here, so tonight you get four. Got our buddy Alex G with us. Appreciate you joining us, Alex.
The last time I was here was a lot worse.
Yeah, we were kind of gloom and doom, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is much better.
Yeah.
Well, I will
ahead.
say I just clicked up my internet browser, just pulled up a new browser, and how it's got like all the headlines that you can click, scroll through them, and the first one says number 25 NC State complete sweep with 4-1 win over number 2 Clemson. Fox Carolina News. So there you go. A lot better this time around.
A lot better.
So the Pack sweeps the Clemson Tigers. I mean, it kind of felt like domination, just because I never really felt like Clemson was gonna get a big knock. Our pitchers were just we threw the ball so good, but I mean there was a couple of tight moments, definitely in the Thursday night game before we kind of pulled away. But even as yesterday's game at 4-1, and it was no run support there for a while. You just felt like, man, they're not hitting wrong. So a huge weekend for the Pack. Before we talk about the series, I just want to give you a little update on the ACC standings and the ACC series this weekend. Miami swept Boston College up in Massachusetts. I think did they play all the games at Fenway or just today? Does anybody know? They played at Fenway today.
Is that their cancer game they play, or the Red Band?
ALS? Is it ALS?
ALS?
Something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Miami sweeps Boston College. Duke with a 2-1 series win over Virginia Tech. They beat Virginia Tech 14-0 today. Virginia wins the series over Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech did win today 7-6. We really kind of needed Virginia to sweep. I was pulling for the Hoos, help our strength of schedule a little bit. UNC wins 2 out of 3 over Pitt on the road, so our loss at Pitt maybe doesn't feel as bad now. Notre Dame sweeps California. Louisville with a series win over Florida State. That definitely helped us. They won 14-2 today over the Noles. And Wake Forest, a 2-1 series winner over Stanford. So where that leaves the stand is, I'm just going to give you like the top 8. Really, the top 4 is what is really important to us, so we get the double bye in the ACC tournament. But right now, I don't know if I've ever said this after like week 1 on the of the ACC schedule, but the Pack is in first place in the ACC at 15-6. Florida State second at 12-6. UNC third at 15-9. Georgia Tech tied with them at 15-9. Clemson now 13-8. They have fallen out of the double bye. Duke at 14-10. Louisville at 12-9. Miami at 11-9. And then you do kind of have like just a log jam. UVA's 11-10. Wake Forest 12-12. Virginia Tech 11-13. But the Pack completely controls their own destiny here down the stretch. We have 3 series left. We'll talk about the Miami one tonight, but we have Miami, of course, next week, followed by on the road at UNC. So 6 games in a row in conference play versus quad 1 opponents, and then we close the season at home with Stanford. So there you have it. So let's start with the Friday night game. The Pack wins 8-3. No, wrong game. The Pack win. We're going to get criticized for that. The Pack wins 14-4, and we just the Clemson's boy. I mean, Aiden Connect. He got shellacked. I mean, 8. We scored 8 earned off of him. 11 hits. I think both of those were career worst for him in a 4-inning appearance. Only struck us out twice. I mean, we just blew his doors off all night. I'll start with you, G. I know you've talked about him a bunch this year and how good he's been. I think he was 6-0 coming in, but we just beat his brains in.
They hadn't lost a start any of the games he started. It was in that Sam Heifel train where he didn't necessarily get the win in every game, but he put him in a spot to win it. But he's so good. And last year he pitched on Sunday against us. I think you guys talked about it in the preview last week. I mean, he was 8 strong, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk, didn't allow a run. I think it was by far the most dominant a pitcher was against that lineup last year for State. I mean, we scratched against Chase Burns even, but we couldn't scratch on Aiden Kanak. So I don't know about you guys too. So that that first at bat, Ty Head, I like him a lot, and I like him a lot in the leadoff. But I was a little nervous because he that changeup was sweet, the fastball was located, and I think he struck Ty out. Maybe it was a 2-2 count with the strikeout. But then Chris McHugh, the swing he made in the 2-hole on the changeup that almost skipped the dirt and pulled it into left field. I was like, okay, there might be something here. And then the rest of the night, I thought State just did an awesome job of like spitting on the changeup. Man, they didn't want to hit that. They were like, okay, that's your plus pitch. It's like what teams were doing to Duden early in the season when he couldn't throw the slider for a strike. It's like, okay, throw me a fastball, and that's kind of the approach they had. And I thought the approach was excellent. And man, everything was fine in the spot. Some big hits, and it was pretty cool to watch him. You could tell watching his reaction on the mound, like this wasn't the script, man. That's not what's supposed to happen. That's not what he's used to seeing, and it rattled him a little bit, I think, and paid off.
Wesley, 19 hits. You want to talk about that a little bit? 19 hits.
Yeah, and I think that's to Alex's point. You can see how frustrated Knack was, when he was on the mound. Um, but yeah, last time Alex was on, we were just saying, the pitchers really need some offense to help them out, and finally we got it because Dom didn't have his best start. Wouldn't if you look at Dom's line, if you didn't watch the game and you look at Dom's line, you'd probably say that we didn't win that game. And then we won that game decisively. So I think that just shows how far we've come offensively from the first couple months of the season.
Adam?
Yeah, I mean, Phraseman, 5 for 5. What, 13 total bases, 7 RBIs, 2 home runs. Pretty special night for him. And I think we had like 6 guys with multiple hits. We talked about 19, but it was still, our 1 through 6, I think, all had multiple hits Thursday night. And, but, I think talking about Dom and winning that game on a game where he doesn't have his best stuff and how the offense picked us up. But, man, Anderson Nance, holy smokes. I don't remember how many in a row did he sit down. But struck out 7 in 4 innings, no walks, no hits, obviously no runs. I mean, he was pretty special.
He did give up a few hits. 4 hits.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 4 hits. Yeah.
You're thinking about last week, Wesley.
Yeah,
wrong game.
I am. I got the
How dare he give up 4 hits, man? What a joke.
There's all zeros after that, though. I've got the hits and the innings mixed up, but yeah.
I don't know how many. Twice. I don't know how many scoreless he's thrown in a row now. I know he's
14
scoreless in a row
with no walks
for a freshman that doesn't really look like he could grow a beard if he had to. Maybe not even a good mustache. And my man was up to 97. I honestly even though I wasn't much of a hitter, but I was a position player. But I love to watch guys that are dominant pitch. And I would love watching Nance, and I love watching Marone, really, because you guys know me. They just pound the zone, man. It's like every time they catch it, they're just right back in the zone. And Nance is like becoming one of my favorite guys to watch because, I mean, he never gives in. Like you're like, oh man, it's like 2-2 right here. It got runners on first and second. He probably doesn't want to go to full count. And bam, breaks off something sharp. Sit down. I mean, God, that kid's fun to watch. I just hope he just continues on this trajectory because that was a lot of fun to watch him come in and dominate like he did. But then, I mean, Phraseman, I don't want to overshadow that at all. Like you were saying, I think Adam and Wes, I mean, dude went 5 for 5. You talk about setting the tone in game 1. We 10-run ruled the number 2 team in the country. I mean, that's a big deal. So a lot of fun at the Doak on Thursday night. And it was good. Go ahead, Alex.
Conversation around it on our message board, on the IPS message board during the game. I was driving the conversation a little bit, and when Nance came in, Clemson was threatening. So they Shiafu, or however you say his name, had hit a home run off Fritton, and then he went walk. So there's runners on first and second. when Nance comes in the ball game, and at the time it's 8-3, so the time runs impossible to get up to the plate, but that's still a pretty tough spot to be in. And personally, that's the only box he hadn't checked for me is entering in with traffic, striking your way out of it. Now he ended up giving up a run or surrendering. It's not his run, but he
Not
surrendered
his run,
one
yeah.
runners. But if I remember, it was like a sac fly to right field, moved the runner to third, and then like a pretty weak single to left was the damage. But in that moment, I was kind of thinking, well, State's going to go Schaffner here and try to go strike out, and they didn't. They went with Nance, and they trusted his stuff. And man, I thought he looked really good. And I don't know if you guys remember, it was later. It wasn't that inning. It was the second time he was through the lineup, in the top of the sixth. He had given up hit to Shafiu and Listy, and Canarella comes up with 2 outs.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And it's like the 40th pitch of his outing. He gets up 1-2 and drops the first changeup of the day, and he made Canarella just look like a little leaguer. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, God Almighty, bro! If you can pump, he's pumping 95 to 97 with the slider that he was throwing. So they're sitting there thinking spin or heat, and the next thing you know, you just get a floater that dives under your bat. I mean, that 3-pitch mix right there, bro. That's something serious for a. I mean, what is he 19? I mean, he's 18 or 19 years old, right? So I mean, that's incredible.
And I think right before Canarella went up, and punched out, I think maybe in a previous at bat or definitely in the commentary, they had said that Canarella, the coach for Clemson, said he's the most clutch player I've ever been around in my life. My man comes up there with a chance to put us, and the freshman just says, "Boop,
nope,
sit down, buddy." I mean, it was electric. So 14-4 set the tone game one.
It's 19. Sorry, is 19 the season? I think that's the season high in hits. I've kind of looked while you were talking, like I'm pulling up like Fordham, and we had. I mean, that was a 19-6 game. I think we had 15 hits in that one in 7 innings. But like the fact that you're doing it to Clemson and Aiden can act.
I know, isn't that awesome?
I mean, that's
getting up for the moment.
Guys, the last time I was here, I think we had 4 hits and like 120 at bats in the week. In 5.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
that's true.
The 180 is unreal.
Yeah, and thinking about Nance too, just to not go off of him for a minute. I mean, he's 4-0 now, leads us in wins, and is that in only 7 appearances? He's 4-0. Are you looking
at just ACC play?
Just AC, and I meant just ACC play. Yeah,
yeah. He's 7-1 overall.
Yeah, but 4-0 and 7 appearances in ACC play. That's.
I got to. I love how they're using him too. I know you guys had that conversation last week, and it's such a good conversation to have. Like, should he start? Should he not? I just the fact that you can stick him in a tight game on a Friday, a Saturday, or like it doesn't matter. You just put him in the game and he's going to finish it like a starter, but with reliever stuff.
Yeah,
I mean that's in college. I think it'd be different in in the major leagues when they play so many games and there's more starters needed. But I always secretly liked like those Duke teams and even the UNC teams that just kept running long relievers out that would kill you. And I hate those teams, but the fact that they could do it made me sick. And the fact that State can do it now, I don't know. I mean, they got Shafter could give you length, Duden can give you length. If Consiglio can get right, he can give you length. I mean, that's nuts.
Little Birdie says Van Dam might be coming back. Probably going to see D-Rock again soon. I mean, woo-wee.
It's what we talk. It's the preseason conversations finally coming to fruit. I mean, it's April, but man.
I mean, how do you guys think? So if D-Rock and Consiglio and Van Dam all work their way back into the mix, then how do you guys think that changes your bullpen? I mean, because I think all on our group text with each other, like we've all been in the same situation with Schaffner out there, with Duden out there, with Nance out there, and we're like, I don't think you should take him out. Like he's throwing like 41 pitches. You're like, we're burning him for some, and like every time we're like, I mean, they just come in and give you this long relief. They're like, they look so good. I don't think you can take them out.
The secret sauce is Ryan Marone can give you 7 or 8 innings on Sunday, so you're not saving horses, right?
Yep. And also, I think talking about Marone is that he can give you 7 innings when he gives up if he gives up 7 runs. I mean, he can just go out and throw 110 pitches. He's going to pound his own. He's not going to walk. Even if he's getting hit, he can give you length. So and keep you in the ballgame. So game 2, the Pack comes back, or not comes back, but the Pack, well, they do come from behind. They're down 1-0 early, but they win 8-3. The biggest swing in that game we talked about before we came on was Sosa hits a oppo blast, and I think you said, Alex, that Sosa hit 500 this weekend. Is that right?
He was 6 for 12, I think. Yep.
I know that we posted a clip on Instagram of Wesley earlier in the season saying, if Freesman gets going, watch out. And Freesman got, obviously got going too. He went 5 for 5 game 1 and 3 for 4 game 2. But we have said ad nauseum that for us to be good, Alex Sosa has to be a big part of that offensively. And I mean, Sosa looks like postseason Sosa right now. I mean, he's hitting the ball gap to gap. I mean, he hit one oppo this weekend, and then yesterday hits the big blast with the bat flip to right. I mean, Clemson just had like no answer for our lineup. We have 19 hits game 1, 13 hits game 2. Titsworth, who was the ACC pitcher of the week last week, he goes for it. Think about that. They threw Kanak and Titsworth in game 1 and 2. Titsworth, the pitcher of the week last week in the ACC. Kanak probably in a handful of 2 or 3 guys in the running for ACC pitcher of the year, and neither one of them make it past 4 innings. That's pretty dang strong.
19 hits combined. They gave up. The 2 of them gave up in 8 innings.
I mean, what's the odds of that? And Heath Andrews, we talked. You mentioned that, Alex. We talked about last week that do you let Nance start? I mean, I think that Heath has obviously struggled the most in the ACC play of the 3 starters, but I thought that was as good as I've seen Andrews. I do think after watching him more, it's critical for him to be able to throw the breaking ball and locate it. I think if he can do that, for whatever reason, I don't know. I know Sam talked about in the preseason how some guys fastball all the way at tunnels or spins. I don't think he's not for a guy that throws 95. He doesn't strike out a lot of guys with the fastball. But the breaking ball the other night was really impressive. I mean, it was diving. He threw it a lot more, I think, than he has in some starts. But I mean, we kind of stuck to the recipe. I think that Chrysler would have been happy if we only got 4 or 5 out of Andrews. I really think that's how they feel when they run him out there with Schaffner. They knew they had Schaffner behind him. They could even go Schaffner Duden if that's what it took, because in that game they're playing to win the series. They're not even. I mean, obviously they want a sweep, but if Andrews goes out there and gives up 5 runs and it's a 5-5 game in the 4th, I think they would have went Schaffner Duden if that's what it took to try to win the series. But I mean, Andrews, that's probably his best start in a Wolfpack uniform. I mean, considering who it's against too, of course. But 6 innings, 2 earned, 9 punch outs, 1 walk, and he threw 63 out of 97 pitches for a strike. And then Schaffner comes in and throws 36 out of 49 pitches for a strike. What is Schaffner's conference ERA right now? Do you have just the conference stats in front of you, Adam? Or either one of you?
Schaffner is 1-1-2.
That's insane.
That is insane.
That's insane. So, I mean, as best we could watch the Cal series, right? Because
God, that was terrible. I didn't get to weigh in on that. Y'all were being kind of nice.
That was tough. And I think the poor guy was doing radio and TV at the same time, so he had to provide a ton of commentary the whole time. But I thought, I didn't think Andrews pitched bad against Cal. I thought he was incredibly unlucky. So much, they had so many backside against the shift, weak ground balls, little flippers that didn't make it out of the infield grass, and the runner beat it out. Something I look at, and I know you guys talked about it, but something I look at a ton is ground ball rate. I just think that is a good indicator of a pretty good pitcher, and luck. And in conference only now after after this weekend, we have 3 guys that are like identical, and Andrews, Marone, and Fritton are all at just above 42% ground ball rate. So, what that means is, 1 out of every 2 balls in play are ground balls. And at this point, too, if you want to take it a step further, um, Marone's batting average on balls in play is 333. So if he's rolling ground balls about 4 out of every 10 times, that doesn't quite add up to a 333 BABIP. Like, I think Marone's got room to get even better. And Andrews was the same. His was over 300. Now it's at 312, and Fritton's at 309. So like, if you want to be even further encouraged, like, and those 3 dudes, they like when they're in the zone. I think it's been your point all year, Cal. Like, their stuff is good enough that it gets weak ground ball contact, and when you're finally playing a lot better defense behind it, like, I mean, that's how you win a lot of ball games, man. You don't have to strike everybody out, and that's how you go deep. Like, Andrews' pitch count was low, and Marone's pitch count was low on Sunday because he was in the zone and rolling ground balls.
One of the things that was crazy about the game 2, like early in the year, we talked about Ty Head going to the leadoff. It almost felt like for us to create offense, like we had to draw some walks, we had to get hit a couple times, like we had to just find any way on and just grind. Clemson only walked us 1 time on Friday, and we just slugged our way to victory. Had 13 hits, and there was only 2 walks in that entire ball game. So we figured some things out, and I love the I love the energy that Ty Head plays with. Man, that guy, he doubled in game 2, but I was just when I was sitting here looking at the box score deal, was it game 1 or game 2 where Head takes the double where it's like a ground ball to second baseman's glove.
It was just when Purify booted it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hit, but he
go for it and it glanced.
If it hadn't hit his glove, it's probably for sure a single. But I mean, God, he plays like with his hair on fire.
Well, and it was cool. I think it was the same game. Was it? Was that where we had we got 2 outs, and then we got a couple guys. I mean, I don't remember who had the lead off, but we kept rotating first and third on a couple singles. Which game was that? Was that game 2?
I don't know. There's so many hits out of
yeah,
running together.
I know exactly. I can't remember, but anyway, it was Luke one time. He was just turning to the dugout, just fired up. After he poked it in, and same thing for I think maybe Austin Ford, but it was pretty cool. Those guys were fired up.
Does Luke got a new chain? Did you notice that, Wes? Is the chain new? I think he's got some bling on it. I mean, I know that Luke probably doesn't need an NIL deal to get one of those, but he was wearing some. He got some bling on, man. So anyway, we'll jump to game 3. We got a lot more to talk about. Game 3, Marone, 8 innings. Clemson scores the only run of the game. I mean, how far does that? How much wind data was it? You were at the ballpark, Wesley. What was the wind doing? I know that I guess Tony thought it was a pop up, and
yeah, I thought the inning was over. I just thought it was a regular routine fly ball to left field, and it got in the jet stream, and it carried right out of the stadium. And I think Clemson hit a home run in all 3 games in the first inning, right?
So
for sure on
Not
Thursday
game
and
2.
Saturday. So Thursday and Saturday there was a home run in the first inning in both of those games.
yeah. And
Friday was the second inning because Priest was there, right? I think so. That's the one.
Yeah, in game 2, it was in the second inning, right?
Second inning, yeah.
Yeah, it was a complete no doubter.
oh god,
So early
Yes.
early home runs in each game. That was kind of interesting to get a sweep in those series and the series after that.
oh
Man, doesn't it just feel like Marone though? Once he gets settled in, I mean, he's just. I mean, we've seen that, just so many times in the first inning. Throw 25 or 30 pitches or whatever, and then,
He's throwing just as hard at 105 pitches as he was at 10. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
really it's amazing the consistency
So
that Marone
repeatable.
has. Yeah, it just looks easy to him. And then compared to the Clemson, and of course, you guys weren't at the. I don't know if Guy was there, but on Saturday, their pitcher, every few pitches he would grunt when he would throw the ball. It was a little sound like Serena Williams, serving the ball. A little strange.
Who was it that Marone? It was like it. Sosa thought he had him ring up, on strike three, and then
It's Canarella.
it was Canarella. I thought it was, and then once he did, Marone's like looked at him like, "Get back in the dugout." It was awesome. Golly, he's fired up, man.
He's like a machine, man. He's like. And then how about
Well,
old Duke? Go ahead, Wes.
well, you guys probably didn't see it on television, but on Saturday, Ty Head he moved a few more notches in my book of one of my favorite players. Him and the starting pitcher were mouthing at each other. It was very. I mean, it was very obvious, and Head ended up popping up, but just to you guys' point earlier, I mean, fiery, and I mean that's the type of player that you want to build around. Even if it is in an NIL age, like that's the type of guy that you want as a freshman to build around for the next few years.
And I think Avent talked about it after the game on Saturday, or kind of half mentioned it about how all these guys hadn't played together. I mean that is the NIL age, and it kind of took them a while, but they seem like they really like each other. I mean, I might be wrong. I'm sure there's guys in the locker room that aren't best buds with other guys, but I know that slew of sophomore arms, those boys are pretty tight. And then, and I think they all pull for one another. And then like you almost feel like Head, even as a freshman, because the way he plays, has become like a leader, one of the leaders in the clubhouse, because he just brings a certain kind of energy that's hard to replicate. But you look at the lineups that we ran out there. I mean, I think we DH'd Austin Fort this weekend. Jarrah's DH'd the game. McHugh is in the lineup every day. DeCrecio is in the lineup every day. Frazeman's in the lineup every day. Those are guys that weren't here last year. And I think it was Frazeman's interview was it? I know it was Frazeman because he said when they asked him about going 5 for 5, he's like, man, I was playing at a JUCO last year. And now I'm playing against the number 2 team in the country. I mean, what a journey for that kid. And I mean, hats off to our staff for finding him because him getting hot has definitely been a revelation for our offense. And then Duden comes in, and Duden throws 12 pitches in the ninth. I think he threw all. Did he throw all sliders? Threw 12 sliders.
Yeah.
And
It was 12.
And punches out 3 guys. What are Duden's ACC stats?
.84 ERA in 10.
It might be the best
10.2
turnaround
innings.
I've ever seen in the middle of a season. He was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Where was it? Duke, right? Yeah, it was Duke that they ran him out there for a save, right? Or was it Pitt? It was Pittsburgh. In the second game at Pitt, they ran him out for a save.
Threw to one batter, right?
Threw to a batter and then threw 2 balls. And Chrysler didn't even. I mean, he was the top step of the dugout, came and got him quickly for Schaffner. I mean, you go from. I mean, to me, it's not a ton of trust from the coaching staff if they're going to do that. And now he's completely turned it around. It's fantastic. Did you hear the broadcast said that he made an adjustment mechanically, he and Chrysler? I'm not savvy enough to completely understand the mechanics of pitching all the way through, but they said that Duden was too
lean. It's like a lean.
Crooked for lack of better words. So he was, and Sean Adler was talking through it. He said, yeah, when pitchers do that, they overcompensate their breaking ball, and it ends up missing glove side way too much. And I mean, now he's flipping that thing for a strike, and it's over.
Yeah,
I look back here on March the 2nd. Duden had a team worst 20.25 ERA.
Nice. I mean, against the bad team.
My man blew a save against Canisius.
Yeah, against the bad team, bro.
And now he's rocking with a .84 in ACC play with 10 innings. That's just unbelievable. And I don't know how many in a row scoreless is that appearances is that for him now? I don't remember when he gave up his last.
I don't know. It's been a while.
I mean, and I'm pretty excited about how fresh he is. I mean, he's only thrown 20 innings all year.
That's what, 10 or 11 innings in conference play? I mean, it's
10.2, yeah.
It's not much. So I just came across a pretty scary stat for opponents of Braden Fraseman. Like, I think we've talked about it, and I know I've talked to Ethan about it a lot. He always points it out. Like, if Fraseman hits the ball in the air, he's going to be successful. But he's like a ground ball merchant. And this is inclusive of last weekend for what it's worth. But his ground ball rate was 55%. Is 55% currently. His home run to fly ball ratio is 30%.
Wow.
If he hits the ball in the air, 1 out of every 3 times that thing's going out. I mean, that's nuts. Like, for reference, Sosa's at 20. And Decrecio, who's got a handful of home runs, is at 17. McHugh's at 13%. So that's another guy that's got his ground ball rate's at 50. He's more of a line drive guy. Like he reminds me a lot of Gino Gruber. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I agree. I think that's a good comp. I mean, obviously size wise, McHugh's a bigger guy
for sure. But it's that consistent. Like I'm gonna put the ball where the defense isn't for a single or a double, and he can walk into one for sure. But I kind of like his spot right there.
You don't want to change up a whole lot about what Fraseman's doing, but like maybe he hits a few more fly balls if he takes a few more pitches. He's only walked 13 times all year. I mean, he goes up there and hacks. Like
it's kind of crazy.
He swings at some pretty bad pitches sometimes too. I mean, I think he's going up there looking to hit.
It's crazy to do that and still strike out as few times as he has.
Yeah. He's only struck out 24 times, which is like, of your everyday guys, is like the third. Well, actually, Hefner's only struck out 14, fourth least amount of times. Hefner's only struck out 14 times, and Decrecio struck out just 12. And I think a third of those are in California. But doing a lot of good things right now from an offensive standpoint. So we have to pick. We have a lot of good people to pick from here for our hitter of the week and our pitcher of the week. We maybe have a split decision. We might have to take it to the internet again, but we'll start with the hitter of the week. And because I texted you guys this on Thursday night, I can't not give my vote for the hitter of the week to Braden Fraseman, because not many times have I seen a guy go 5 for 5 with 2 bombs and drive in 7. And he followed that up with a 3 for 4 performance, and had another hit on Saturday. So he had what is it? 9 hits in 3 games and 2 bombs. So I think everybody, we might have a split decision. I don't know. I know Alex Sosa is a good vote, so I'll let Wesley go now.
Fraseman.
All right, we have 2 Frasemans. We have an uneven number of people here tonight too, but we're going to give you a vote, G, because you joined us.
Well, no, let the Fat Homer guys pick.
I mean, we have an even number. No.
Even number.
We have an even number. I said uneven, guys. It's been a long week. Adam, then we'll go to G.
I'm gonna go Fraseman too, just for the reason that it's the 5 for 5 night is pretty special. I don't think we've had anybody have 5 hits for 3 or 4 years. Or was it Tommy White? Maybe it was Tommy White.
That's what they said on the broadcast.
Yeah. So anyway, but. I have to go Fraseman for that reason. I love the fact that Sosa's hot, though. Hopefully, we can give it to Sosa next week.
All right, G. I know your vote is for Sosa. Give us your compelling argument, because it is compelling, and we're big fans of Alex.
The argument is, in my opinion, that it's a 1-1 game on Saturday when Sosa homers to make it 3-1, and then I think when Sosa homered on Thursday night. He didn't homer on Thursday night, right? He's homered
Friday night.
It was – this is great podcasting. It was a 3-5 game or 5-3 ball game for State. So his 2 home runs on top of hitting 500 and drawing a couple walks, his on base is probably 550 or so for the weekend. Those were clinchers. Frazeman 5 for 5. I'm with you all the way, and but look, the fact that those two cats are hitting 5 and 6 in your lineup right now, like that's great production.
And I think Hogue also had 6 hits.
Man, Hook's just been so
and hit
steady.
another bomb.
Yeah.
God, he's been so steady.
I mean, he's just
I
even
mean,
killed. Go ahead, Wes.
I mean, when you start thinking about McHugh last weekend in California with 9 hits, and then Frazeman this weekend, what he did, and then also Sosa again, the consistency up and down that lineup is pretty impressive at this point. Not again back to 2 months ago, we would have never thought we'd been in a situation where we had 40 hits in a weekend series against the number 2 team in the country.
No, exactly.
And then you
Frazeman
like,
might have had the biggest hit. In fairness to Frazeman, he might have had the biggest hit of the game Thursday. That was to make it 3-2, right? It was the 2 RBI single up the middle, or scored Decrecio and Hogue, I think.
yeah, after we it was kind of a punch back after we got kind of punched in the teeth there in the first. I tell you too, like talking about our lineup, like I know like Hebner, we probably would be accused of over appreciating Hebner. We're big Hebner guys because he just does all the little things for you. But when you look at like Ty Head, Hebner, and Luke Nixon, I think when you mix those three in our lineup, all three guys that can handle the bat, can do a lot of different things for you, and then you like surround them with some of these guys that have the potential to be boppers. I mean, we just can score in a lot of different ways. I mean, like Nixon and Head, especially, you don't know if they're going to go up there and drag bunt, or if they're going to hit a double down the line, or if they're going to go up there and just foul off pitches. I think Luke tends to get hit a lot, but Head just goes up there and just battles and battles and battles and has some of the ugliest swings uh, imaginable, fouling off pitches and putting balls in play. I mean, there's not a lot of easy outs in that lineup, and we've only struck out 255 times now in 42 games. That comes back to 6 times a game in today's era of college baseball. I mean, there's a lot of tough outs in that lineup, and when the big boys start hitting the balls out of the ballpark like they have lately, we have Frazeman up to 10 now. Hogue's hitting 9. Sosa's hitting 9. Decrecio's hit 8. 7 out of McHugh. I mean, we literally we stand a good chance to have 5 guys hit double-digit home runs, and then you surround them with guys like I said, like Luke and Ty and Hebner. I mean, there's just a lot of that's a hard lineup to get through, and early in the season, it just did not look like that was going to come together. So, hats off to Coach Hart and our staff and everyone who's working with those guys. Because, I mean, I think we're almost it's come to the point where we're almost what I would call like a scary lineup. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but I mean, it's a hard lineup to pitch to, man.
It's very hard. I mean, you get down to the bottom half of the order and you're still thinking, it wasn't too long ago that was our seemingly most consistent, most run scorer coming in the bottom of the order, and you still feel good about those guys now,
I love that we can go left, right, left, right, left, right, because you make pitchers keep throwing to different sides of the plate. Just a lot to like about our lineup. So now we have to pick our pitcher of the week. The rule is you can only pick one guy. I mean, our bullpen, I feel like these guys get snubbed a lot because you could just give it to our bullpen for like 3 or 4 weeks in a row now, as good as those guys have been, those 3. But we can only pick one. I'll let you guys. I'm going to start with Wes. You can pick anyone you want. Who's your pitcher of the week, Mr. Wilson?
I'm gonna go with Marone, but I got one more thing to say.
All right.
Last weekend, Calhoun said Clemson's not that good. You went through the analytics of
Yeah.
where Clemson was, their batting average and everything, and you've been too humble on this podcast for what you called last weekend, and I called us to lose the series, so shame on me, but but I appreciate you what you called basically before this series, but I go with Marone. You just really can't go with anybody else, in my opinion, besides Marone.
Adam?
Well, we only pitched 6 guys all weekend, so it's a pretty short list to pick from. Anytime you do that, all your starters have pitched good, and obviously your bullpen has as well. So you could look at it and say, you know what, you could make an argument for all 6 guys that we pitched. Seriously, but I will go with Marone as well. I think that he man, he's just a dog, and he was so fired up. I was glad to see him come back out there in the 8th. I mean, I really was hoping that to see him go one more, and man, he had just as good a stuff then as he did in the first or second inning. So yeah, I'm good Marone. I mean, he's a guy. I think we're in a pretty special position to have a guy like that to pitch for us on Sundays.
Alex?
Yeah, unanimous from me over here. I mean, the game was tightest the longest. He got the least amount of run support by a large margin. And to do what he did in a gotta have a game for Clemson, I mean, that's pretty darn impressive. And, Adam, to your point, I think I might be exposed to a little bit more just because of where I live in the message board space. But so many times I just see people question, like every decision the coaches make get questions, all the time. And the one that gets questioned the most is like when to sub out a pitcher and who to bring in. And
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, yeah.
Shoulda, coulda, all the time. But like, man, Chrysler, I don't know. He doesn't give enough credit sometimes, man. Like reading the room right there, running Marone back out. I mean, yeah, he had a little trouble with Purify, but the matchup was good. For every time it feels like you should have taken a guy out and left him in too long. I think 2 or 3x more we make the right choice with the hook.
It wasn't unanimous yet, but I will go ahead and make it unanimous and use Coach A. Vince's nickname that the guys have given, Money Marone. It's my vote. And I was sitting here thinking when I was saying, I think Marone now, this will be 3 or 4 times he's been our pitcher of the week. Just because, I mean, when he's been good, he's been so just ridiculously good. But I was sitting here thinking Marone's definitely won this award the most times this year. But if we had to pick a pitcher of the year, man, that would be a hard conversation right now too. Like, just because of what all these guys bring to the table, I mean, gosh, I mean, I feel so bad to just hanging. I don't even think we've given it to Schaffner yet this year. I know we did to Nance. Schaffner hadn't got pitcher of the week yet, and he's got a 2.35 ERA. And
He might be the best one.
He's got 34 to 5 strikeout to walk ratio.
You could definitely say he's probably the one you trust the most, right? In a pressure situation. Like, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. I like Nance a lot too. And when Duden can go punch out the number 2 team in the country 3 times on 12 pitches, God, I mean,
it's fun. It's fun, guys. It's awesome. It's a good problem to have.
Good problem to have. Just hope it keeps going. All right, let's talk about Miami a little bit before we jump out of here. So Miami, you talk about being dead in the water. Miami was probably a little more dead in the water than we felt early in the year, but Miami has strung together some wins. I think they swept Georgia Tech last week. We talked about that. But Miami is up to 32 in the RPI. They're 12-9 in ACC play. I mean, they're like, right now they would probably be considered, they're definitely not like last 4 in. They're firmly in the tournament right now. Playing in a regional probably is maybe even as a 2 seed. And I was down there earlier this year. I went to the Miami, Florida State game 2, I believe it was, at Mark Light. If anybody's going down there this weekend, they got some phenomenal milkshake stand down there in Miami. But there's always players down there, man. Like, you look at their roster, and this year probably less than ever, because Miami of old was like every single player was from like Miami, Coral Gables, Boca, like everybody's from South Florida. But they got, first. I think Cuvée probably has a chance to be a first-round pick next year. He struggled for them early in the year. I'm pretty sure that the reliever they have, Walters, I think, is that Andrew Walters' brother? Can anyone confirm that?
Be surprising if it wasn't, right? I mean, that
Kind of fits the bill down there. But so Miami, who is, like I said, 32 in the RPI, they're up to 27 and 18, 12 and 9 in conference play. Cuvée is the name that kind of everybody. He became a household name last year because he has such a huge freshman year. But he's up to 319 now. Hit 9 home runs for him. Is their best offensive player. They have some transfers this year. I know I think they have a kid from UNC Greensboro, maybe. But Jake Ogden, their shortstop, hitting 328. They offensively, as a team, I think they're hitting somewhere around 270.
271. Yeah.
They got some talented dudes though. We're going to see probably on the mound this weekend. They started Griffin Hughes, I guess is how you pronounce his name. He's 4-4 with a 3.56 ERA, 68 punch outs in 60 innings. So I mean that's a big number. AJ Siskar, he's 3-1, and then they started a freshman the last 2 weekends. I think Tate Darius, who he's got a 2.73 ERA, only 23 punch outs in 29 innings. What'd you say, Alex?
3.6 in conference. He's been good.
Yeah. So they've thrown a lot of different guys. They got 1, 2, 3, 4 graduate players that pitch out of the bullpen for them. I mentioned Brian Waters to you guys. I think he leads the team in saves. He's got 4 saves. So I don't care if Miami is 18 and 27 or 27 and 18. I feel like they always got dudes. When I was down there against Florida State just bully balled them to death. They were just hitting balls out left and right. But I don't think you ever get the feeling that a Miami team can't put 9 guys out there that can beat you. And I'll let you guys talk now because I've talked enough.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, they're going to have some players. I was just looking through their schedule so far real quick. They lost 2 out of 3 at Florida. They lost all 3 at Wake. They lost 2 out of 3, as you mentioned, Cal, at home to Florida State. They lost 2 out of 3 at Chapel Hill. Tight ones, yeah. And they won 2 out of 3 at Pitt. They won 2 out of 3 at home versus Duke. Tight ones. Again, the 2 wins were pretty tight. You mentioned they swept Georgia Tech, and then they swept at BC this weekend. But the last 2 of the games were 1-run games. They won 2-1 the first game, and the game today at Fenway they won 3-2. So
I have no clue what to make of them because, you see the Georgia Tech sweep and you're like, oh, that's a really good weekend for Miami. But those 2 teams are moving in opposite directions. Georgia Tech's like 3-7 in their last 10. Miami's 9-1. So I don't know. And then you see you're up north. It's a big difference for a team from Miami to go to Massachusetts, but to go 2-1 against Boston College and then 3-2 against Boston College.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was
like. That's 3 would be so big.
Their pitchers make you hit the ball. They've only walked 160 guys all year, which I think is maybe second or third lowest amount in the league, which Coach Chrysler must have been a Pack Homer Season 1 fan. I think we had the lowest walk total in the ACC for a pitching staff. I think we walked the fewest number of batters of any pitching staff in the ACC, or at least we were first, I think, Thursday. I haven't looked since then, but we walked 143 now. And, last year we walked, to put that in perspective, last year we walked 290 guys in 61 games, which is 4.75 a game. This year we're at...
What does that get you back 100 weight?
This year we're at 348. So we're about a walk and a half down per game this year for our pitching style. But yeah, I think Miami's going to throw the ball to the plate. They obviously got some guys that can hit it out of the park. And I think that they got a little momentum. So a game that I mean, a series that is going to be a quad one series, and one that if we, so let's go take this the next step before we make our picks. Do we have any chance to be a top 8 seed?
Yes.
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 What do we have to do that?
We got what, 9
I
ACC games left? I would say we have to win 7.
think that's probably the number, and the right 7.
Yeah, three this weekend, and I got to win all 3 series.
Well, that's the thing. What's so weird about it is Stanford's not very good.
Yeah,
So you can't, you say the right 7, but you almost say if you're going to win those 7, you're
true.
probably going to win 9. You know,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
tell you
know.
what, man, we're 15 right now. The best Avets ever done was 119 in 2013. So we got
Yeah,
an
I think that's going to happen. Where
got
did
an
you guys? So
opportunity.
you guys ran through this. I remember listening. Who was the high man? Was 18 was the high number? I think. Who picked that?
Cow. Cow.
Cal
No,
did.
surely Cal didn't pick more wins than I did.
Look, all I know is I remember, man. I started thinking, guys, that's aggressive. I was watching because it was
Hey,
before we hit. It was
yeah,
before we hit. Jacksonville. But so
yeah,
Warren Nolan, for whatever it's worth, the predicted stuff's mostly crap because that nobody knows anything. But the predicted team sheet for state is 14th in RPI, 20-10 in conference. That includes getting swept by North Carolina. So you start doing the math a little bit, right? Like you take 2 from those guys, sweep Stanford, take 2 from Miami. I mean, that's 22 wins in the ACC, a solid first place. That's a super regional host, especially if you do a little bit of damage on the ACC. It can't not
Yeah,
be, right?
yeah. No, it
the,
can't not be.
it, the regular season winner of the ACC
It has
is
to be.
gonna be a top 8 team. There's no doubt. You can't.
Because I don't even think the conference turn. I think it matters even less now in seeding
It
because
does.
Yeah.
it's single
It
elimination.
does. It does. And you don't. Well, what I love about that is you don't have to do the stupid thing we had to do last year and pitch
Yeah, the
Monroe against
meaningless
Virginia
game.
Tech and just
Yeah,
hope. And it ended up not mattering at all. You get the 10 seed. See, that's the other thing. Ethan and I were talking back and forth. State was 15th in the RPI to get the 10 last year. And that was with all those wacky losses. So, like, you don't have to be 8. You got to be in the area. Just get close. But for
I,
what it's worth, the top 4 matters more to me right now.
I would
no
take
doubt.
2-1
Yeah.
in all 3 series and be happy. I would sign up for it right
Well,
now.
if you go 2-1 in all 3 series, you're a top 8 seed without question.
Because then you're 9-1 in ACC series,
With 22 wins, right?
there's the
21
yeah,
wins.
and
That would,
21 wins.
the,
21 wins.
the winner of the regular season of the ACC will be a top 8 seed. I mean, right now there's 3 projected ACC teams in the top 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Florida State, Clemson, and Carolina. So how could you not have the regular season ACC winner as a top 8 seed?
And then
this,
you start projecting stuff, man. Like it's. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't remember your opinions, and I don't want to speak for you, but I care so much about winning a damn ACC championship in this sport. Like it's
Yeah,
unbelievable that we haven't. So like that, the higher you can seed yourself, like you start projecting it forward a little bit. Like, man, I want to play Duke. I'd want to play Duke again in that ACC tournament. I'd love to play them with the way the team's playing now. I don't mind playing Louisville again. I wouldn't mind playing. I'm not. There's nobody I'm scared to see again. But like, if for some reason Florida State ends up the 5, I'd rather not be the 4 seed that has to play Florida State. And they're maybe they wouldn't save Jamie Arnold, but you still. I don't know. And being the 4, you just play a 3-game set, and with our pitching, you gotta love that. When you got to win the 4th game, it gets a little weird.
yeah.
it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting few weeks.
So let's pick this Miami series. I think we're gonna win 2 out of 3. I'm not giving this a sweep. I'm gonna give the Pack 2 out of 3. Adam,
I do too. I got accused a couple weeks ago of saying that if we were playing the '99 Braves, Adam would pick us to win 2 out of 3. So, but I'm gonna stick with that. I think it is going to be a tough place to play. I think, like I said, Miami's trending up for sure. But I just, man, I really already like us in the Sunday game. I don't even know who Miami's throwing, but I always already like us in Game 3. And and I feel like we get one of the other two.
Wesley?
I'm superstitious, so I'll go with one. We're gonna lose 1-2 Miami. We're gonna do it the same way we did last weekend. Hopefully, we get the sweep.
Alex?
Man, I got some confidence. I think it's 3.
I like it.
I tell you what, I think this is the week Derek Smith makes an appearance on the weekend. I bet we see him Tuesday against UNCW, and you get that 4th guy, and you don't need 3 quality starts anymore.
Ooh.
Oh man, that's
God. If you get that guy back, I said this last week. I think Cooper Consiglio, like he's got so much upside. Like I know we saw him last year, so it's easy to say he can be great. I mean, he's probably going to start the UNCW game. I mean,
bounce back, man. Bounce back in that one.
Yeah, I just
think about how good he was last year against Clemson. You remember that?
Yeah,
well, so that's the thing too. And Ethan and I were texting about this. Ethan, shout out to you, dude. I keep mentioning you on this damn podcast. But Consiglio was not good last year either. Early, and then it was Clemson. Like he was getting run out of games after an inning in the third, 2 innings, and then he comes in against Clemson. You're like, oh God, here goes this weekend, and he goes 6 strong. What with 2 runs?
I mean, then the next thing you know, he's pitching for Team USA.
Well, you know what's even crazier, and I just pulled it up. I hadn't even realized this. The next weekend, he comes out against Carolina and gives up 6 and 3. And then he went on that crazy run that led to him, obviously, to your point, getting the nod at Team USA. Like, it's there. It's the walks right now for him. If he can get his own, he's going to figure it out. The stuff's still good.
So, I mean, we got a lot of storylines going. To be playing so well, we got so many guys that we got two like huge pieces that are injured that we feel like we got a chance to get back, and then if we can get Coop back activated, then you're like, you don't know if you can get them all enough innings. I mean, it's a great problem to have. We do got to keep hitting. I mean, that thing, those things hitting seems to come in waves. But I mean, Avon again, like every podcast you listen to, national podcast. I mean, I don't know how many times I heard this week, Avon's team's doing what Avon's teams always do. I don't know what the magic is, but
I don't get it.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So here they come.
Well, Wes, what about your boys? What's going on with Tanner Thatch? Why is he only at 7 home runs? Like, is this the week? He's going to hit 4, isn't he, on Tuesday?
Yeah, he got he got engaged. I think that was the issue, right? He got engaged.
All right.
He doesn't care if chicks dig the long ball anymore, right?
No, he's done it.
Yeah, he's done, man. After he got engaged, that was it. It was a wrap.
Who does UNCW got left? What?
I think they won the series against Charleston this weekend. So I mean, they're 101 in RPI UNCW. So they're
quad 2. The road game will be a quad 2 game.
It'll be a quad 2 game
this week.
7 and 3 in their last 10. So they're that's pretty good. They beat Georgia. That was earlier in the year, right? We were talking about that a long time ago. They, in Wilmington, still they beat Georgia.
This week's game will be a quad. This week's game with UNCW will be a quad 3 game, but when we go back down to Wilmington, that will be a quad 2 game.
We played them 2 Tuesdays in a row.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm sure glad we didn't play the Pirates Tuesday night.
Yeah. Hey,
Coming back
let me tell you. I drove all the way. We came up there. There was 5 of us, and we got the gym. We got the semis at 3:00, and we got pitchers of beer. We drove all the way from back home. We get to the parking deck. We get out. The game's canceled. I'm like, God, dog. But it ended up being positive for the Pack. But it was a little frustrating that we went all the way up there and all we got was a few pictures of Coors Light from Sammy's.
I didn't see what they ultimately did this weekend, but I know at one point one of those Tulane games they were down 20-0 at home.
They lost the series. 2-1 to Tulane.
I think they gave up 10 in the first inning of game one.
Pirates are shook right now. They're shook.
They're shook, and they're
All
worried
the more
about
reason I'm glad we didn't play him.
and they're worried about losing their coach. You know,
They're shook.
That's swirling around on some of the media outlets out there that like he's not going to have enough money to compete at ECU, and like this might be his last chance to go, you know, be the number one name in the hat for, you know, several Power Four jobs.
For ECU, not as much money as Tulane. What the hell? Oh, come on.
I think those guys are starting 4 freshmen though. So I mean, I don't know. It seems like maybe just they'll probably
Yeah.
reevaluate after the season, and I'm sure they'll be fine.
You don't have to talk
Moving
nice
forward.
about ECU. Catherine ain't listening to this, Wesley.
Yeah. I hope Godwin leaves. To be honest, maybe he'll go somewhere else.
All right, big week in Miami. Anybody got anything to say before we jump? All right,
Go Pat.
go Pack.
Get your options.
Back.
Yeah, for real. Get your milkshake. Worth the price of admission.